to another TY. So today I'm taking my time and show you guys step by steps on how we can go ahead and do this. Okay, so hopefully we are here. 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 Ready to start and ready to go. So let's get started. We are here. We are here, ready to start and ready to go. So first thing, guys. I'm going to be using my pencil. I have my book here. This book I bought specially made for pattern, because to get a pattern is not easy. All right, so if you're just joining, you are welcome. If you're joining from Facebook, you're welcome. From YouTube, you're welcome. Today, we are doing a sweetheart tour. We're gonna start from anywhere. We'll start from any place, okay? So, first thing, I have my book here that I bought it specially made for tutorials, okay? As you can see, even though it's half of my measurement is enough for this. So, normally this top we're going to be making will end around the waist. Normally my waist is 15 inch, but I'm just going to add 1 inch to it, right? Where did I make it? I was supposed to keep everything ready so we can easily go ahead and start up with this up. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing. You can leave your comment. I will not be reading comment because all my devices are occupied. Alright, so we are going to go ahead now and start with our measurement. So I'm going to come here like this. As you can see, it is as straight as possible. I will mark shoulder measurement. Normally we always start on the from shoulder divided by 2, slant it down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. And I'm going to go ahead now mark the armhole depth. So for this tutorial, like I said, it's going to be ending around my waist. Okay, so shoulder depth is by taking round bars divided by 6, then you add 1.5 inch to it. So I will go ahead now to mark up the neck depth and the neck width of 3 by 3 inch. I'm going to do this as very slow as possible so that beginner will be able to understand. So I have just marked my neck depth, my neck width and my neck depth. I've marked my shoulder and I'm also gone down by the shoulder slope, because the shoulder is not straight. Then from here I went down to the armhole depth line, which is by taking round bars divided by 6, then you add 1.5 inch to it. I hope that part is clear. So I'm going to go ahead and connect this part up like this. You can either choose to do a square, like connect it in the form of a square here, do 3 by 3, then you connect it up like that. But I always like to do mine like this, and depending on what project you're working on. So after connecting that part, I'll move now to the armhole depth. I'm going to connect my armhole depth, which is right there, even though I've missed 1 point, but we're going to leave it up like that. The shoulder slope, I'm going to leave it up like that. Sorry guys. I'm going to go ahead now and connect the armhole depth, which is this line that I'm connecting right there. Then I'll go now to connect up the chest line. This is the chest line, just like this. When you're making a basic top, right, you already know. So what we're going to do is to measure from here to here and divide it by 2, which is 7 inch divided by 2 is going to give us 3.5. 3.5. I'm going to go ahead Yeah, I'm going to go ahead now and go in. You can go in by 3/4 inch, you can go in by 1 inch. I will come here on the chest line. I'll put 1/4 of the bust measurement. The round bust I'm working with is 34. Divided by 4 is going to give me 8.5. I will mark that point up. Then I'll go ahead now, connect from here to here and from here to here. So that you'll not come and tell me that I was too fast in the video, okay? That's why I decided to go slowly. Alright, now that we have done doing so, the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and mark from the shoulder to the bust point, shoulder to the under bust, shoulder to the length of this. Like I said, I always want mine to end on the half length, but I'll be using whatever I have here. Let's just go ahead and use 16. Let me use whatever I have here, okay? So let's say the length I have there is almost 16.5. Roll those points up with straight lines. And I'm going to do the same thing up here. Alright, now that we are done doing so, the next thing I want you to do is to go ahead now. I'll be connecting up, marking up the dart measurement. To do so, you either go ahead and take the under bust measurement. So for example, if my round bust is 34 minus the under bust, which is 32, okay, 32. So totally I'll be left with 2 inch. So 2 inch, you have to divide that 2 inch by 2. That's to get exactly at what you need at your to get whatever exactly what you need for your dart measurement. I hope that part is clear. But before we go ahead to do so, the next thing you want to do is to go ahead now. I'll be marking the nipple to nipple, which is by taking from one bust band to another. Okay, so mine is 7 inch. 7 divided by 2 is going to give me 3.5. 3.5. I'm just going to go ahead and mark that point over here like this. Once I am done marking it up, I'm going to draw a straight line all the way like this from here to here, like so. Now that we are done doing so, the next thing I want to do is to go ahead now. I will come here, measure up whatever I have and divide it by 2. So I'm going to have, so what I have here is let's say 4.1. So we're going to have to mark up the center of that 4.1, which is right there, the center. We have to connect the center all the way to this point, like this, like so. So now that I have done so, I'm going to have to go ahead and connect it up to make up this point. This is what we've just done right now. You see what I've just done so far, right? And after doing so, like I said, to get exactly that's your measurement, whatever you need for it. I have this book here. So whatever you're going to be needing for the dart measurement, to know exactly what you need is by taking the bust. So for example, my bust is 34, right? And then you take under bust, okay? Under bust, which is 32. Then you're going to take this minus the under bust. Automatically we're going to be left with 2 inch, and then that 2 inch you're going to divide it by 2. You'll be left with equals to 1 inch. I hope that part is clear. Now that we have our 1 inch, okay, 1 inch, meaning that you can either choose to use 1 inch here and 1 inch here, okay, or you can choose to use 3/4 inch. I mean half inch here and 1.025 here, okay? You should always use this part should be smaller depending on what you are working on. But for me, I am working on a corset, so I am going to actually, I'll have to come here like this and mark my half inch first of all and do half inch. I'll be using 3/4 inch, nothing more. Half inch both side. I'm going to come here like this at the under bust. I'll do half inch. I'm going to come here and also do half inch. After doing that half inch, we're going to go ahead and connect this point up like this and like so, like so. Okay, now that we have done this, so the next thing I want to do is to come here like this at the bust point. I'm going to go down by, you can go down by 3/4 inch, you can go down by half inch. That's just to create an ease around there. Okay, so I'm going to do 3/4 inch, which is good to go. 3/4 inch, so connect these points up like this. Oh, sorry, all the way to here like that, and all the way to here like so. Now that I am done with, so the next thing I want to do, remember that I marked half inch. I'm going to come here back. I will have to mark 0.25. Okay, my 0.25, which is right there, making it 3/4 inch. Remember, I said I'll be using 3/4 inch. Alright, so I'm going to be marking 0.25 right there. Then I have to connect this up like this, all the way to this point. And I'm going to do the same thing here, like this. Automatically, I have marked 3/4 inch both sides. Connect it up like this back to this point, making sure that it is not too curvy. And this one up here. Right, now that we have done doing so, the next thing we want to do is to leave this side for now. Okay, so this is the bust point line. This is the bust point line, right? So you can either come up by half an inch, or you can choose to just connect it from the this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do half inch. I'm going to go in by half inch. So I went up by half inch, I went in by half inch, and I'm going to have to connect this up like this. And when I'm connecting it up, I make sure that I get the curvy part of my, to get that U that we want, not the square for the corset, okay? So like that, I'll connect it all the way to that point. You see what I've just done there, right? So I've just connected this point up. Alright, now we have to go ahead now and measure up whatever I have here. So what I have there is about 3.1. I'm going to go ahead and add at least half inch to it. So if I add half inch to it, I'll be left with, if I add half inch to it, I have 3.1. Okay, if I add half inch to it, I'll be left with, 3.6. So I'm going to have to come here like this and mark it up. But before I go ahead and mark it up, what I'm going to do is to come here, measure up whatever I have here. That just to mark the center. Measure up whatever I have from this point to this point, which is what we have there. We're going to measure it up and divide it by 2. Holding up my tape like that. And mark the center point. So from that center point, I'm just going to come here like this and go down by, you can do 1 inch, you can do half inch. I'm doing 3/4 inch. 3/4 inch, okay? 3/4 inch. This is it right there. Making it that this is our new chest line. You know, when you're making this cup, it's not supposed to be choked around the ankle, except you want to kind of use the yoke, okay? If you're using the yoke, there is no need for you to actually do so. There's no need for you to go down. But if you're not going to be using the yoke, actually do so. So for, like I said, this is our new chest line here. I'm just going to roll a line up here like this. And measure up whatever I have here. Like I said, I will be adding up half inch to it, making it up here. We are measuring. Take note that we are doing this from the center line. You have to measure from the center line. Sorry, Anita, this is not it. So this is it. I mean, 3.6, which is right there. Now, what we're gonna do is to come here like this and connect this part up. Why do we have to do so? That's because, you know, the side that goes towards the armpit, your bust is always bigger at that side. Have you noticed? If you've not noticed, I'm telling you now, it's always bigger at that side. So I'm just going to go ahead and try as much to get my U curve, not a square, all right? So we should get that curve we're looking for. So this is what we have right now, okay? You can either choose, you can choose to do, the same. You can choose to do so. Like what I have there, automatically I've gone up by 1.2.5. You can do the same thing here, but this part is fine. Now that we have done doing so, the next thing we want to do is to come here. We want to come here depending on where you want it to end, how you want it to be covered. You can choose to go up by 1 inch from this from the bust point line. So I'm just going up by 1.5 inch. 1.5 inch is good. You can do 2 inch, it's optional. So I'm going to be doing 3/4 inch. You can choose to do 3/4 inch. You can choose to do half inch. So I'm going to do 3/4 inch here and 3/4 inch here. At that point, what I'm going to do is to draw a straight line like this to make those points I've just made. Now let's go ahead now and connect it up. First of all, let me not at least go ahead now to confuse you people. So what we're going to do is to go. I just discovered that this part here is kind of too long for what I want to put. So it is too long. So instead of me going up by that 1.5 inch, I'm going to be doing 1 inch is good. 1 inch is good. So I'm going to do 1 inch from the chest line. I will go up by 1 inch. Then I have to do 3/4 inch here and 3/4 inch here from the center line. You can do 1 inch. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect that point up. Then I'll have to bring this line, bring it up, curve it up like that. Make sure that you're not actually making it to be too curvy, because by the time you're joining it, that is where you're going to have some issue right there. Avoid making it too curvy. The cup should be too curvy. Right, so one thing after doing so, we're just going to go ahead and roll these points up like that. See what I've just done there, right? And now we're going to bring this part up. We're going to bring it up here. Why is this part looking funny? So I'm going to have to readjust this part because I see that it's kind of looking a little bit tricky, which is what I don't want to get. So you want to make sure that you get that curve right there, but don't make it to look funny. So this second line we're actually wiping it up. You're actually wiping it up. The first line we wipe it up like this. Now we're gonna have to just go ahead and give it a curve from here. Okay, now that we have done doing something like this, as you can see, we have something like a round, which is not actually what I want to get. So I have a round here. At this point, if you are working on something like this, now this thing is not looking good, so I just have to go ahead and then raise it up and reconnect that part up. Now we have something like this, a circle cup. All right, so if you're going to be using 2 piece, this is perfect for you. But if you're not going to be using 2-piece, you want to use 3-piece, which is actually what I want to work on. So like I said, I'm going to have to do adjustment here, right? This cup here, I don't want it to be like this. So what first of all I'm going to do is to have to come here by half inch, yeah, half inch, which is right there, half inch, and do the same thing here, half inch, connect it up like that, right? Kind of not really that curvy, but kind of a little bit straight. Cut up. One thing they say that all these things you just need to practice. If you look at from the first and the second, you see that it's a very big difference. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do at this point is, like I said, I'm going to be working on a 3-piece. So I have to come here like this and go down by half an inch. I'm also going to come here like this and go down by half an inch. Right? I'm going to do the same thing here, half inch and half inch. Remember, there are so many ways you can either you can do this up, okay? So if I go up here by half an inch, it's going to be too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try to have to this point. I'll kind of go up by 0 to 5. Right, so now just have to go ahead and connect it up like that. You see the difference, and connect it up like this. One thing you just need to do is to practice. You practice. Practicing, make it perfect. Make it perfect. I know some of us are like, when we want to do something, feel like it's not really what we wanted. You can see, I have 1 here, I have 2 here, I have 3 here, and I have 4. You should always number them up, or issue, just do 1 here, do 1, okay? 1, and then you do 2, and then this part, so you should know that actually they'll be going together. All right, so at this point I just have to give it a little bit of tricky curvy line just to adjust that a little bit. Now that we have done doing that part up, we are done doing so, the next thing I'm going to do is, normally as you can see, the line is automatically is shorter, so you have to go ahead now and so what I have there is about, this is shorter. My half length is supposed to be 15 inch, okay? But normally it should be around 12. If I'm making a normal, so I have to increase up here when I'm doing that on my pattern, okay? So now let's just go ahead now and replace up whatever we borrow for the dart allowance. I'm going to have to come here and put 1/4 of the waist. Round waist I'm working with is 28 divided by 4, it's going to give me 7. I'm going to have to come here and measure up whatever I have, which is 1 inch, and place it back. Then I'm going to come to the underbust. I'll put 1/4 of the underbust, which is 30 divided by 4, is going to give me 7.5. We took a 0.25, making it 1 inch. So here we're going to put 1/4 of the bust measurement. Round bust I'm working with is 34 divided by 4 is going to give me 8. Then we'll just kind of measure up whatever I have in this tiny part right there and replace back. Okay. Now from this part, I just have to kind of learn, even though we're not going to be using that part because this is where we're going to be cutting it from. So, but just go ahead. I'm just going to leave it off like that. Let me not confuse you guys more. So if it's stick here, this part is kind of looking. Let me check what I have. E. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use the same thing I have on my waistline on my underbust because it's almost the same. So I go ahead and place back that 1.5 inch. So making it perfect so that it will fit here and fit here and fit here. Right? So see what I was talking about. Right? If not, it's going to look funny. So, like this is what I'm referring to. Alright. I always like to blend it back, thinking that it is, no, it's supposed to be straight here. You see what I have? Now, if you want to go ahead and use the yoke, normally, like I said before, the yoke is supposed to be somewhere around here. Right? Somewhere around here. If you want to use the yoke, what you can do is this part here, like this, is going to be for the lace. Okay, this part here. I'll cut it and show you what I mean. Right, so we have the front. This is the front piece right there. Alright, now let's just quickly go ahead and drag up the back. I'm gonna have to just flip it over so you can go ahead and manage your pieces as much as possible. Like I said, this book we're going to be doing different sections, different things. So we'll be able to follow up each and every step of everything we are doing. So we'll not have to kind of, one day we just have to walk up one day like that and check. So when you want to make the back piece, it's simply go ahead and measure whatever I'll have from here to here so that it should be the same. Okay, so what I have there should be around 8.1. So I'm going to go ahead now and mark that 8.1. The back piece is quite very easy and simple to go. Very simple to go. There is nothing like to stress up yourself about the back piece. Right, so now for the back piece, simply what we're going to do is to come here. I'm going to draw a line. But remember, I'm just doing this. I will not be cutting this up. Because if I'm cutting this up, definitely I will not be making the back piece here. Alright, so, so for the back piece is 8 inch. So first of all, what we want to do, very easy and simple. Like I said, we're going to put, take the bust divided by, the bust divided by 4, which is 34 divided by 4 is going to give me 8. I'm just going to go ahead and mark that 8. So I'm going to go down by that 8 inch. That 8 inch. So making it up that we are rowing a straight line from here to here. That I just 4. So from this part, what we have to do is, this is the waist, right? So when I put 1/4 of the waist, marking it up here, 1/4 of the waist, I have to roll this line up from here to here, the straight line. Oh, Anita. Alright, so connect this point up like this. You see? Now, put the nipple to nipple divided by 2, nipple to nipple, which is for me is 7, divided by 2 is going to give me 3.5. I'm going to mark my 3.5 from here, 3.5. Then do a straight line from here to here. Sorry if I'm blocking you, but just go ahead and do a straight line. We have a straight line. You can either choose to create up some fitting that right there. You can choose to leave it up straight. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create up 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch both sides. We roll that 1/2 inch all the way to the top. And do it up like that. The dart of the back is always very different from the front. So we have, this is the center back. Normally we have 3 here and 4 for the center back. Now what we want to do is to replace back this that allowance we just took, which is 1 inch. I'm going to come here and replace 1 inch. Now, like this. Once I'm done doing so, you want to decide if you want the back to be like this or if you want it to add loops. If you want to add loops to it, okay, you have to go ahead and add up the, if you're adding up loops, you're going to go ahead and minus 2 inch from there. So if I'm to add loops at the back, I have to minus 2 inch from there. Like this, from here, I'm going to mark 2 inch, and from here, I'm going to mark 2 inch. Automatically, I'll be taking out 4 inch from the both sides, okay? You don't want to make it too open. So this is the allowance you want to minus from loops, 2 inch, okay? 2 inch for the loop. You have to cut this part up. But you're not going to be using loops, you're going to use a zipper. You have to go ahead and measure up whatever you have from here to here, which is 8.025. I'm going to mark the center of it. From that point, I have to go in by 1/2 inch. I'm going to go in by 1/2 inch. You can do 3/4 inch, which is good to go, and connect this point up like this. This way, it's going to avoid your zipper from looking funny at the back. Then you cut this zipper around. So you want to decide what you're going to be working on. So we have 3, we have a 4, and we have a front piece right there. So I hope you find this helpful. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, comment, and share, and follow Anita Handmade Creations for more tutorials coming up very soon. I already have a tutorial on this on my on my YouTube channel on how to cut and sew this stuff. So I hope it was helpful to you guys. See you guys very soon. Bye bye. Bye bye. Hi. Hi.